Good morning, my beautiful souls. How's everyone doing this morning? I have my tea next to me and I'm ready for today's topic. And I know you're looking at the picture and you pretty much have an idea of what I want to talk about. And it's very important. And I think it's something that needs to be shed light on. And that's speaking life into our children. And it's so important. We are the ones that are around them the most. And they look up to us and they watch us. Not only how are we setting examples for them, but how are we speaking to them is important. I have a teenager, and my son is in high school, in the beginning stages of high school, and he pretty much gave me the motivation to speak about this topic, and I wanted to shed light on it. We had a very in-depth conversation this morning, and a lot of it had to do with me talking to him and him pretty much listening and just kind of giving him the raw, honest truth. I don't sugarcoat anything for my kids. I pretty much, speak to them how it is and how life really is. And, I have a son and I have a daughter and I have one of each, just kind of building them to be the best versions of themselves. But I want to tap in a little bit more with dealing with teenagers. There's no handbook to parenting. We want to pretty much pray that what we're saying and doing is helping them. Kids are always going to be tempted, influenced by other children. This is true. We're in a society where there's so many different people and so many things being said, taught, done. And I use my guidance as a child, and that's what most of us can do as parents, is because there is no handbook in how to really deal with things like this. So we use our own experience and we guide our children the best we can. I just want to sit here and say how important to let's not forget to do this. Let's not forget to speak life into our children every single day before we're getting ready to go out the door, before we're getting ready to go to work and take care of our lives and get on with our busy schedules. Let's make this a priority for 2020. So if you are a parent that has not really done this, or you're not as consistent as you would like, don't feel bad and don't get discouraged. Remember, we're in a new year, so there's so many different things that we want to do better. And let's make this one of the things on our list. So, I definitely want to say this. As my son is in ninth grade, the discussion really started with preparing him for college. I feel that it is so important for him, and he just really didn't understand. He felt like it was too early. We want to prepare our children, but we want to get them in the mindset to want to prepare for their future and to let them know, like, especially in high school, like, those 4 years will flash before your eyes. And I just didn't want my son to wake up one day and be an adult and be 18 and now have to figure out what is it that he wants to do. So I encouraged him to prep him. Now, in conversations like this, we go a little step further in just talking and kind of doing. So we're going to do some things that will get him there. And I know that there's some things that he needs to work on. So we'll definitely be working on that. So I feel like it's important to find out what our kids are struggling with and help them so that they feel confident in what they're doing and when they're applying their work in school, and that they feel motivated to try. So I think we should pretty much try to eliminate the can't to try and to not give up. It's important to teach our kids not to give up. Our kids are little dreamers. They dream so big and have so many things that they want to do. And I feel that we should build them up and encourage them to be consistent with what they want to do. But also never sugarcoat that there's always an easy road to get there, because there is not. Give them the tools that they need to prepare them for the road, that any storm, any battle that will come their way, that it won't defeat them, that it would only push them to keep going forward. So I just want to tell you 5 things that I do. I too can do this more consistently. I do this every chance I get, but I should be more consistent in doing this on a daily basis, because we don't know what our children endure, go through on a daily basis when they leave our house. They're off to school. So number 1, the first important thing is always let your children know that you love them before they leave the door. And it's important to not just tell them that you love them, to show them that you love them. So hug your children before they leave the door. Give them that warmth, that loving feeling from their parent. That's number 1. Number 2, number 2 would be speaking to them and let them know that you're proud of them. It's so important to let our children know that we are proud of them. Just getting up every single day to have a purpose. It's not easy. So 2, let them know that you are proud of them. So let them know you love them, you're proud of them. And 3, I think that vision boards should not only just be for adults, they should be for children. So how are you exploring their little minds of their ideas? I encourage each parent to do a vision board with their children. If you're not familiar with what a vision board is, you definitely can Google it. Just get out a bunch of magazines and poster boards. This is really fun activity to do with your child. It gets their mind thinking and encouraging them on what is it that they would like to do when they grow up. Or even, as they're teenagers and kids, like what are the things that they're looking and their interests are. And then when you're done completing something like that, an activity, which should be done on a yearly basis, which would be exciting for them to have, and have them hang it up in their room so it's something that they can look at consistently and something that will give them that pick-me-up on days that they will feel down and discouraged, because it happens, we're all human. Even us adults, we feel that way as well. So 3, that is very an efficient and a very important tool to add when you're speaking life into your children and just kind of reminding them. And 4, I would say teaching your children self-worth. It's very important. Letting them know self-worth, that they matter, that they're very important. And I did this with my children before, and it'll probably be another activity to get back into as they're getting a little bit older, bigger now, and getting a very nice, flashy nothing big, whether it's sticky notes. I've used sticky notes. I like them. Whatever your preference is, put it on the refrigerator, because I feel like the refrigerator is the number one thing kids will always go to. They're always thirsty, hungry every 5 minutes. Something to have on the refrigerator, because it's the thing that we look at the most. And writing some very powerful words there that your child can look at every single day and never forget it. It will start to instill in them. I started this very, very young in my daughter's life, and I see how effective it has been, and she's 10. Now, I feel like as she's getting, into preteen, that I want to continue on. And even though my son is already a teenager, I want to continue on with him as well. It's something that will never get old, never get tired. It's something that'll still be beneficial. So, writing some very important words that you want your kids to feel and very encouraged and motivated on the refrigerator. So you can do with a small poster board or some sticky notes. Anything that would be great, and bold and big, so your children can see it and feel great about it. Secondly, so that's 4, 5. And last but not least, I know that there is more than 5 things to do, but I feel like these are just my ideas. These are things that I've been doing, that I've tried, and I like them, and I like where they're going. You can pretty much do what you feel comfortable doing with your children. I just wanted to get on here and really talk about how important it is to speak life into them. So, for my last tip on this amazing topic, I would say, so we talked about letting our children know that we love them. And we talked about a vision board. We talked about teaching our children self-worth. And we talked about putting some important, big, motivating, encouraging words on the refrigerator. And 4. So 5, I would say, is listening more to our children. Talking more to them and listening more. So I think it's very important that we're asking our children how their day is every day, not just sometimes. You want to help build that relationship that is very comfortable, so that if they are battling or struggling with anything in school and their personal life, that they would feel comfortable to come and tell you. Because kids can be cruel, kids can be mean. I didn't even realize how early bullying starts. And I experienced this with my daughter in preschool, which I thought I had time, but I had to really teach her at a really, really young age about self-worth. And I had to really speak life into her for a good while. She would cry and she would come home, and as a parent I would feel defeated, and we don't want to see our children hurt, but it really helped build her confidence, I have to say, a lot. So just building our kids up, let that be the 5th priority. Building our children up as much as we can and listening to them. So if you are a busy mom or a busy parent, I don't want to just say mom, because we have dads too as well. I want dads to know that their roles are just as effective as mom's roles. Neither one is less than the other. Our children look to us for guidance, and they watch us. And we want to make sure that we're setting the best example for them to lead and follow. Don't be afraid, don't be shy to even let your children know some of your mistakes. because you're a great teacher. And you want to use your mistakes so that your children don't make the same mistakes. Your kids are going to make mistakes regardless. I've realized in my years of life that, we all make mistakes. And we have to allow our children to do the same and to follow their way. We just want to give them the tools that will guide them and help them to make better decisions. And I want to say that to the parents that are out there listening to this audio and maybe be struggling, or if we have any single parents that are also listening as well, you're still effective. Patience we need to have. We need to have patience for our children, even when they're struggling, just to kind of figure themselves out. I try to even remember how I was when I was a teenager. And I think that's what really helps me. It's just that it's just a different day and age now in the world. But, I speak to my kids about education, and it's important because I really want my children to have a career and not a job, and explaining to them what the difference is and to encourage them to go the route of having a career versus having a job. Because a job, it will be something that, will help them, when they have summer breaks and stuff. But I really, really want them to have a career. And just kind of encourage them and let them know that either way I support their decisions, but as long as... Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Just to kind of let them know that I'm here to support them and that I encourage them to follow their dreams, and if any way possible that I can help them, I'm here. Sometimes, you can say that to them and they'll know, but I feel like it's our job to kind of put that out there, to kind of take that extra necessary step. As taking our kids to the library, getting some things out for the weekend when we have downtime, and kind of shut off devices, televisions, and getting our kids out of the technology world for a little bit and kind of have more talks with them, speak to them, and just have that time. And if you can, at least have... Because, see, I don't know everybody's schedule, and I know parents, we work a lot to provide. So if you can just, and I also know we do have days off. So if we can just encourage one family game night, if that can be the family game night where you have dinner and you laugh, play games, and just enjoy each other's company. And get to know your child, because they're consistently growing and evolving and turning into these amazing human beings, these little human beings. And they're always so creative, and their personality shines more and more as they get older. So that would be a bonus thing, is I encourage more family time. And if you cannot be consistent, at least if it could be something that could be done twice a month, something that your child will look forward to, and you can just kind of shut out technology and shut out television. I feel like that is what's going on so much in the world, so much. There's tablets, cell phones that the kids have access to. And create amazing memories with your children. Like I said, I don't have the handbook to parenting. None of us do. We only just hope and pray for the best. And I feel that me shedding a little light on this even brings awareness to myself to just be a little bit more consistent, because I've done this before. And even like having this conversation, I don't want it to just happen because, I get a phone call from the teacher. I want to be more consistent myself as well, to make this a habit, because it's something that I do to myself daily, and I want to make sure that I'm doing the same for for my children as well. So I just want to thank you guys for listening. I wanted to keep this short, powerful message just to encourage you to speak more life into your children, and especially before they walk out the door and start their day, just as if you would do the same for yourself. Thank you so much for listening, my beautiful souls, and remember, let's spread more love and less hate.